All right, everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. So busy season is officially over for your boy. So we'll hopefully be back to your regularly scheduled programming, so to speak, with regards to the channel stuff. But that's probably going to be starting next week sometime, just because I need a little bit of time to kind of de-stress from all the work I've been doing and get everything back together. So I think tentatively read-through is going to come back in 2 weeks from now, I want to say. I'll do a proper channel update about that stuff a little bit later, but I didn't have as much time as I would have liked to have caught up with some series. So I need a little bit more time to do that. But like I said, we should be back to it soon. Really looking forward to it. That aside, I really did want to catch up with the Shonen Jump chapters this weekend at least, before that backlog started piling up on me. So we're going to do some catch up with last week's chapter of Akane. We're going to get around to Kaiju, Spy Family as well today. And then we got the new chapter of Gokuraku Guy coming out tomorrow. I'm super excited about that. It's a lot of good content coming out this week. Like I said, look for a proper channel update sometime next week with what's coming to the channel for read-throughs and stuff like that. But like I said, a lot to look forward to. So if you haven't already, please do consider like, commenting, subscribing, all that good stuff. Especially because Twitter is becoming more and more of a trash fire every day. So if you want to keep up with my comment or keep up with my content, subscribing to the channel is the best way to go. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of good stuff coming out in the next couple of months. A lot to look forward to. But without further ado, we're going to dive into the newest chapter of Kaiju No.8 in a second here. And I'm really, really hoping that this chapter, like I'm on the first page right now, just from what I see, I really, really hope it's going in the direction I'm kind of hoping it will. But we'll see what happens with it. So without further ado, let's get into it with Kaiju No.8, Chapter 85 by Naoya Matsumoto, with translation by David Evelyn and lettering by Brandon Bovia. I think. Yes. Oh, this should be good. All right. So we have a Kikoro where she left off last time with her going, "I crushed their core. They should be finished." And she hears a "Daddy," and you see a throb from their shoulder where the little Kaiju number 15's like tentacle brain thing still stuck in there. And she's like, "Another psychogenic attack?" And she's like, "I got my core destroyed." It's like, "No." It's like, "I can't regenerate." It's like, "Daddy, Daddy." So this is number 15's thoughts. Oh, this should be interesting. And we see God, a little flashback to adorable little baby number 15. Really is just goth Kikoru. And you see her sitting on the lap of number 9 going, "Hey Daddy, do you love me?" And you see number 9 kind of like half his face is a Sao's, half is number 9's Kaiju. And as the human facade kind of like flakes away, he's like, "Love you, huh?" It's like, "I made you to kill Kikoru Shinomiya. So if you," and you see, "Oh, poor little baby, like, God, the baby number 15's got little tears in her eyes, going, become stronger than her, then I'll love you." And you see her face just like lighten up as she's getting all happy and excited. He's like, "I've reproduced Kikoru Shinomiya's combat power based off Isao's memories. Try killing that first." And you see like a prototype number 15 standing nearby with a little axe. And you see just a bloodied goth Kikoru standing over its corpse. It's like, "Daddy had killed it! I'd never lose to that weakling. Do you love me?" And he's like, "I've given you a special psychogenic attack function. If you can master it, then I'll love you." And you can see she's looking a little bit disappointed. And she's like, "Okay." And you see her just kind of sitting on her knees, kind of like meditating in the cavern with like the psychogenic like web everywhere. She's like, I did it! I can go and kill little Kikoru whenever you like. So tell me, do you?" He's like, "This again?" And you see that she's kind of looking down disappointed. It's like I told you before, I made you to kill Kikoru Shinomiya. Whether I can love you depends on that. If you can kill her, then I'm sure I can love you." And you see him standing like a chair with like the other little like bulbous egg sacs of like the other kaiju. And you have, "It's fine. It'll be fine. If I kill little Kikoru, then this time I'm positive that Daddy will finally acknowledge me." And you see as Kikoru's watching her, she's got tears streaming down her own face. And he's like, "You know, little Kikoru, patching into you made me realize something. Your daddy was hard on you because he loved you, but my daddy is different. To him, I'm nothing more than a pawn. And you see like tears streaming down her face. He's like, hey daddy, I'm about to die. And despite that, even as I lie here, and she sees like a conjured like projection image of number 9. It's like, you refuse to look my way. And she kind of just fades away and you see just her normal like head back, lying on the ground decapitated. Kikoru was like, you took the lives of so many people. I could never feel affection for you. But I'll make sure to punch number 9 right in the face on your behalf. You have back at the headquarters with number 15's vitals are gone. It's like, Officer Shinomi has eliminated Kaiju number 15. And you see everyone just kind of like cheering and screaming. And you have Tommy going, well done, Shinomiya. Number 9 clearly did its research before taking action against us. He did a fine job in defying its expectations. And you have report from Sumaida. Number 11's onslaught is continuing, and damage is spreading. And you see it's the lizard one that's like selling little flying water blobs. And you see Narumi just kind of like dodging through all of it. And you have Kikoru going, it's your turn now. Show me your disciple, those skills of yours, Master Moron. And you see Narumi having like a little flashback to Sao's face. And you have a swirl and a captain! Oh, sorry. So one of the water tentacles like grabbed around his leg to hold him in place as a water shot hit him. And you have a well, you sure told me. Allow me to grant your wish. I'll show you that we're leagues apart, my dumb disciple. Oh, man. It's like... So there's parts I really like about this chapter, and then parts where I'm just like, again, I wish Kaiju did not go kind of the stereotypical Shonen Jump route of like, oh, you know, friendship is victory, like, oh, you know, we'll overcome it in the end through like grit and determination and all that. Because again, I really felt like this could have been the ideal moment to kind of cement a lot of these Kaiju as returning villains akin to number 9, and kind of have the Defense Force face its first real kind of like loss and like a hit to its morale. So it's a little bit disappointing that we're getting... Sorry, my dog's being a dick outside. Sorry about that, my dog was being a little dink outside, but you know, like I was saying, like a hit to morale. And I wish Matsumoto's had kind of taken that risk and allowed the Defense Force to not eke out a victory the way that they are right now, and had kind of let the characters kind of sit in that for a little bit, kind of help them develop and grow and change a little bit. So I'm kind of disappointed that kind of again went the stereotypical route of like, oh, you know, Kikoru kind of gained sympathy. Like, I don't hate the parts where Kikoru gained sympathy for her enemy, because again, this is something I actually called out in the last chapter review, talking about, you know, I would have loved to have seen this be incorporated into the chapter, into the series. And literally a chapter later, like, we got exactly what I was calling for with regards to kind of seeing, like, you know, Goth Kikoru, Kaiju number 15's kind of backstory, like her infatuation with number 9, like her desire to like win his approval and all that stuff. So we got those glimpses of it, and I really appreciate the fact that we did get those glimpses of those moments, kind of like humanizing it a little bit. But again, I feel like I would have loved it more if it had been dispersed a little bit more throughout her fight with Kikoru. Like, you got like little flashes of it, like, you know, while Kikoru's trying to fight off the psychogenic attack, or like I mentioned in the last chapter review, if we had had moments of like, you know, Kikoru basically overriding the connection that number 15's psychogenic connection, and using that to launch into this flashback instead. So I think that would have worked better than like, you know, just kind of outright giving it to us like this. Like, that said, I still do like the flashback. I do think it did a lot to kind of humanize number 15. But that said, again, like, it's interesting because this very much also reminds me of Full Metal Alchemist, where you have, you know, all the deadly sins all kind of trying to win the approval of their father. It's kind of like this one figure that's like, so transcendent above them. Who's like, oh, I don't need petty things like emotions and this and that. Like, I only need you to be powerful to do, the things I want, to strive and like reach the goals that I want if you want my approval. So definitely gave me flashes of that. But again, like I feel like this would have worked better interspersed with memories of Kikoru also trying to, gain her father's approval. I feel like that would have made it more impactful to kind of sell the contrast, the similarities between number 15 and Kikoru. But the thing, like, apart, like, I loved most of the flashback. I think the thing that was a little bit too disappointing again was kind of just being outright told, like exposited to, like what the point of the flashback was, with number 15 telling her like, oh, like, you try hard because your daddy was hard on you because he loved you, but mine is different. Like, I was just a pawn to him. Like, we didn't really need that exposited to us. And again, it would have been better, something that would have been better shown rather than told, which is why I'm kind of like, again, a little bit disappointed those kind of just like ham-handedly kind of just put into there. So yeah, I don't know. Like, this chapter started off really good and it really had my interest, and then kind of just steadily waned as we got further into it. So I'm a little bit disappointed that number 15 is dead, although I suppose that doesn't mean that she isn't able to come back. Like, I suppose number 9 could like reconfigure like number 15 version 2.0 or something like that. So I feel like we could still see some version of her coming back. And I don't feel like it would have the same impact as if this one having survived. And like I mentioned, like, this Shadow Jump thing of like Kikoru being like, oh, now show me how much better than me you are, Master Mora. And Rumi being like, yeah, I can't look bad in front of my disciple. Tropes like this aren't inherently bad when they're introduced or written into a story, but the way that they're introduced or written into the story, I feel like, is what makes them bad. And I feel like Kaiju, again, did it in a very ham-handed way, a very stereotypical way, like a lot of other series did it. And I'm a little bit disappointed because I did really expect a lot better from it. So I think this is one of the few times where, having a character do like I'm going to have my comeback moment didn't really leave me excited or hyped for the next chapter, which is a little bit disappointing, but it is what it is. So we'll see how the rest of this arc turns out, but yeah, a little bit disappointed that it didn't climb to the highs I think it could have reached. So at this point, I'm kind of more interested in seeing where the arc after this goes from here. What the fallout is more though, so than the fights, but we'll see if the fight still will win me back at least a little bit with the arc and other stuff. So like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm going to catch up with some Shonen Jump stuff this weekend as well. Probably also going to get around to the next volume of Yona of the Dawn read through as well, just because I need to get that book back because I borrowed the book from the library and I do need to get it back. So I'll probably get to that today, as well as the one exception to like the read-throughs being on a little bit of a hiatus still. Look forward to that. Like I said, a lot of great content coming your way. So if you haven't already, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Like I mentioned, it does help me out a lot with promoting my videos to YouTube's algorithm, and it just means a lot to me as well. So until next time, this is Ash. I'll talk to you all later.